Good morning, students. We continue with the chapter number 8 of history. Only the last part of the explanation was left, and the chapter's name was Women, Caste and Reform. In my prior lectures, I told you how the British brought a change in the society, how the sati system was abolished, child marriage was stopped, and how people came together and got involved into reforms, changes, movements, and how did they try to bring the change in the society, actually freeing the people from the clutches of the old age thought process, which was actually targeting a special community or a special sector of people. Now, similarly, if we talk about caste system, this was one of the major problems of the society then. They were people who worked to fight against this particular discrimination of people on the basis of their caste. One of the renowned names which comes forward when we talk about the reforms which took place in that era, where people fought against the discrimination based on the caste system, was Jyotirao Phule. He had pursued his education from missionary schools only. So when you study in a missionary school, your thought process is polished. You think in a different way. You don't go to the same bracketed mentality of the people who are living in the society then, but your entire perspective changes. So he was a staunch opposer of the Brahmins' superiority in the society. The Brahmins considered themselves to be invincible, and they considered the lower caste to be too inferior to them. They considered themselves superior and these people as inferior. Now he used to always write against them to make the people aware that they too have rights and they can rise up and fight against this kind of discrimination. So he gave a logic over here. He said that the Brahmins, or the present day Brahmins of the society then, were Aryans. You have to pay attention to this word, Aryans. From Central Asia, a group of people had come who had taken over the Indian continent, Indian side of the land, and the people whom they subjugated, whom they controlled, whom they seized, whom they brought under their slavery, they considered themselves to be inferior. So Aryans were not hailing not from India, they came from outside, and then they controlled the people who were living over here, and those people who were living over here were called the slaves, and those slaves were, as the time proceeded, those slaves only were called the low caste people. He said that Aryans are the Brahmins only, and the Brahmins are not, they don't even belong to this motherland. That was his logic, what he gave. He said that those the people who were considered to be the low caste people were categorized into two categories, Sudras and Ati Shudras. Sudras were the labor caste, labor category people, and Adi Shudras were the untouchables. So he said, for us to live a better life, for our coming generation to live a better life, we need to unite and then fight back against this kind of a discrimination against those who did not even belong to this motherland. For this, he wrote a book called Gulamgiri. Like Gulamgiri, it's actually a typical, not a Hindi word, it's actually Urdu word. Gulamgiri here means slavery. This he actually dedicated to the people who fought in the American Civil War against the slavery of the blacks. So, discrimination on the basis of skin color was there in America then. So then a fight there also started against, an opposition started over there also, that the blacks shouldn't be discriminated against just because of the color of their skin. So then 10 years ago, what had happened, he connected his book with them And then he compared in his book the fight for freedom for the blacks from the slavery with the caste system prevalent in India. So this is how he, by comparing their condition over there 10 years ago, what they had done and what they were doing right now in India, he actually brought a very sensitive issue into action over here, triggering off a lot of questions in the mind of those who were those who belong to the lower caste. So then he was worried not only about the lower caste people, he was also worried about the status of the women of the upper caste also. Women were not given so much of priority. So he used to write about the laborers, he used to write about the low caste people, he used to write about the rights of the women of the upper caste. So he left no stone unturned to get through his point in the society. So there were other people also who got inspired by his writings. One of them was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was called the father of the Constitution, and he played a major role in bringing up more changes. What were the changes? B.R. Ambedkar, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar himself belonged to a lower caste category. So from the Mahar community he was. You have already learnt about this in class 6. He was from the Mahar community. Every time he would go out, it would act upon him evidently that he belonged to the lower caste. People would make him feel that. He was not allowed to sit inside the classroom in his school. He was not allowed to drink from the tap water, which was common to all the school children, because he belonged to a lower caste. This made him furious, but he knew that something had to be done for this. So when he finished off his schooling over here, he went away for fellowship abroad, and then when he finished off his education, he came back. He also started writing articles opposing this particular discrimination on the basis of caste. One thing which left a major change, a very drastic change, was that the lower caste people weren't allowed to enter the temples at all. So then he started promoting people to go to temple, and then from the wells also they couldn't, from the common wells also they couldn't drink water or use water. He promoted that also. So the Brahmins were the priests were getting furious that the people from the lower caste were coming into the temples, and in accordance to them, they were polluting the temple. That was their mentality, their set of mentality. But Dr. B.R. Ambedkar did not stop. He went on promoting in his write-ups to go and worship the God, because God doesn't discriminate. It is humans who discriminate. Slowly, people did fight back against the caste system. Though I would not be incorrect if I say it still prevails in the minds over here. And there are certain households where still people think about the caste system, and they don't allow the people from the lower caste to sit along with them. They think that they are inferior to them. The same mentality still prevails. Certain countryside, certain villages, it is very staunch. But we have majoritively got over with it. But it still goes on in a society, and we need to by education eradicate this kind of a thinking process right from the ground root level, that human is a human irrespective of which caste he belongs to, and we need to support and we need to look at him as a creation of God, irrespective of his color, irrespective of his gender, irrespective of his caste. So the last part of the explanation of the chapter I will be teaching in the next lecture. That's all for today. Thank you.